Alright, so now what we're going to do is get them ready to put on the gambrel. So just like with any other animal, we're just going to feel for that space between the tendon and the bone. And just put our knife in there, just make a little incision. Now they do have gambrels that uses a cord that just nooses around the feet and holds them. We just use a stainless gambrel here. We've also got a dedicated rabbit standing gambrel that we use on some places, but today for these 3 rabbits, we're just gonna knock them out like this. Now you'll see them moving a little bit. That's just the nerves. Once we get them cleaned and all and spray the carcass, there's a chance you'll even get to see the meat dance. It's just all the nerves of the animal. All right, so ideally if you want to place the pellet gun or 22 right here on the back of the head in between the ears and shoot, that'll dispatch the rabbit. You can use hopper, popper, broomstick method, whatever you decide. This is just how we do it. Once the animal's on the gambrel, we like to give it a rinse down. Not only does this remove blood and urine, feces, anything that might be on the hide, it also keeps the hair from going all over the place as we're cleaning the rabbit. Now what I like to do is go ahead and find the joint on the front feet and just go ahead and clip those off. You can make a little rabbit foot pendant out of these if you wanted to. The back feet you can use for keychains. You can of course hang your rabbit hide as well. What I like to do is go ahead and just take off the rabbit's head. Viewer discretion advised. If you don't want to see a decapitated rabbit, then get ready to skip this part. 3, 2, 1, here it comes. Now that we have a headless rabbit here, we're going to go ahead and make incisions up here, going around the legs. We're going to be careful not to cut through the tendons, just like we do with any other animal. Now I just like to grab this hide, come right here. Here's the gap that we put our gambrel in. Here's the bones and meat. Here's the tendon. We're going to go right in here, cut that hide free. So I just like to grab a hold of it and pull it back, holding tension while I make my cut. Now we're going to make a cut going right across this area. I just hold the skin tight as I make my incision. If you start getting into the meat, you're cutting a little deep. Now we're just going to grab a hold of this hide and start to pull. Now if you notice that the meat starts to tear, just stop and use your knife and work the hide away. On younger rabbits, most of the time the hide comes off really easy. On older rabbits, you might notice a little bit of tearing. Now at this point, we go ahead and cut the tail off. And then because I've already removed the head and the front paws, I'm going to watch here that we don't tear the belly. And if you tear the belly, it's fine. There we go. Now this rabbit has been skinned. This hide here is ready to save for tanning. It can just be turned inside out after you've salted it and done everything you're going to do with it. Now we're just going to rinse the carcass off. as you see, notice how the carcass is dancing. See the nerves firing off from that cold water? This rabbit is obviously dead, but it's still moving. Alright, now what I like to do is just come in here, make an incision around the pelvic area, grab a hold of the bottom of the belly here, I like to go into the pelvic bone and split it. And I also hold the guts back with my fingers. Now let's take the tip of my knife and cut through the belly meat all the way down to the sternum. And I grab a hold of the flank here. I'm going to cut out until I hit the loin. I'm going to drop that down to the ribs. Do the same thing on this side. Here's your tenderloins. I'm going to say just on the outside of them. Now, if you want your rabbit kidneys, there they are. If you want your rabbit liver, here it is right here. You'll just have to remove that gallbladder. We'll get to all that here in a moment. Now we're just going to go ahead and grab a hold of the poop chute. Pull that down. Now this area here is cleaned out. Now these customers aren't wanting any off-falls, so we're just going to go ahead and remove them. Now if you were wanting your liver, you just cut it off at this point and then go on each side of that gallbladder and just cut it out, remove the gallbladder, and then your liver would be ready for processing. We're going to remove this membrane here. This is the diaphragm. Now we're going to place our knife in underneath the heart, coming out the neck, and just cut down through the brisket bone. Now we'll grab our heart and lungs and pull out the esophagus, everything else. Now if you wanted your rabbit heart at this point, here it is. We just take and cut the top off, fillet it like we do a chicken heart, and then clean it up if you're wanting to save it. Now from here, just going to check over, make sure everything's clean. Give it a rinse off. You see again, see the muscles twitching and moving. Alright, so now we're going to quarter out this carcass. Give me that lug that's underneath that one. What we're going to do is come in here in between the rib cage and the shoulder blade. Let's make an incision. There's your 4/4. We're going to mirror it, same thing on this other side. It's front shoulder of your rabbit. I'll come in here at the start of the rib cage, right under the tenderloin, make an incision on each side, and break that. Now, something that I was taught, we'll just go ahead and roll these ribs back. You'll hear them crunch, but it lets it lay flat whenever you go to fry it. Some people leave this belly meat on the tenderloins. We leave it on our ribs because it gives a little more meat to them. And whenever you're making a soup or a stock, it's just a little more substance to it. And what we do here, there's two ways to do this. You can split it across here, or you can do like we do. We come just underneath the hip joint on both sides. And then I'll take some shears and just clip the pelvic bone. And the spine. Now you have your back loins with your tenderloins. That'll be one of your prized pieces right there. And we just come in, you can use a knife for your shears. We just break that pelvic bone on through. And then from here what we do is go ahead and just clip off the feet. There's your hind leg quarter. And that's all there is to quartering and cleaning a rabbit.